Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Today we have got some big Chelsea news. We are going to talk about 3 teenagers that Chelsea have signed, and it was kind of the cherry on the cake yesterday when we announced that we've signed Aston Villa midfielder Carney Chukwuemeka. He's 18 years old, broke into the Aston Villa first team last season, and Chelsea have got the deal done. 15 million quid with an additional 5 million in add-ons that will take the total fee to 20 million pounds. This player is a top player, won the Under-19s European Championship Player of the Tournament, broke onto the scene in, I think it was a 6-1 win for Aston Villa against Newcastle in what I believe is the Under-23s, scoring a hat-trick, including a wonderful goal that he bent into the top corner. Chelsea have got this deal done, and I want to talk a little bit about how we've got this deal done today, because there were many clubs interested in Chukwuemeka, such as AC Milan. AC Milan wanted to make him a mainstay in their squad with a big role for the upcoming season. Barcelona were also interested, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Arsenal, bloody every good team in the world. You can imagine I say good team and I mention Arsenal in there. I'm worried. I'm very worried about them, but Chelsea got this business done. We have also got Gabriel Slonina from Chicago on a 6-year deal, and Omari Hutchinson, who some of you guys may not know. He's only 16 years old. We got him from Arsenal, a team that we've already mentioned once today. Don't want to keep talking about the Gunners, but Omari Hutchinson came in. He's set to go out on loan to Reading. Obviously at 16 years old. Chelsea have bought this guy for the future, which again, I want to talk about Chelsea buying for the future and how a lot of people are kind of looking at the Chukwuemeka deal, looking at the Slonina deal, maybe even putting Omari Hutchinson in this bracket as well with the business we're doing. Is it solving the problem that we might have of being competitive that Thomas Tuchel's wanted and asked for going into this season? But Hutchinson's going on loan to Reading. I think Reading are probably going to struggle this year in the Championship, so we might see him get good minutes even at such a young age in the Championship. Gabriel Slonina, if you didn't know, he's gone back on loan until January. We spoke about him a little bit in a previous video. But I think this one is also a really smart piece of business for Chelsea, because we're not just talking about like a cheap player here. For 18 years old to already be worth $10 million, $15 million is a serious sum of money. Chelsea have bought this guy in knowing that, yes, Edouard Mendy may be 30 years old, but he's also definitely one for the future. We need to have a backup if Kepa is indeed going to be going to Napoli. Napoli probably going to be loaning Kepa. I think the deal is going to be worth about 3 million euros with an option to buy potentially at the end of the season. So Chelsea will be looking to see what happens with Slonina when he finishes the MLS season. Will he come back to Chelsea in January? I guess that all depends on how things go with Mendy this season. Is there an injury? Is Bettinelli trusted to be a backup? We'll have to wait and see where this one goes, but he is 18 years old, already performing at the top level in the MLS, so that is an exciting one. But let's speak a little bit more about Chukwuemeka. I think this is phenomenal business from Chelsea, and the key thing that I mentioned earlier is that this kind of business where we have seen that there have been many reports already this summer about Rafinha. There were reports going in around Jules Koundé, how Chelsea managed to agree personal terms with the player. And then because everything was so public, you've got Barcelona jumping on board almost in a bit of a rush, even though they couldn't really rush. And then they beat Chelsea to the signing of the player. With this Chukwuemeka deal, this came out of absolutely nowhere last night. I was actually in a hospital last night. I'm absolutely fine, but a friend of mine is seriously suffering from a strong case of dengue fever. I was in the hospital, no camera, hardly any battery on my phone. I'm like, I want to make a video about this because I watched this guy a little bit last season, and I think that he could become one of the top players in the Premier League. I know he's only 18 years old, and you're probably thinking, Benson's overhyping again. He's getting too carried away again. If you've watched this guy, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. He's got legs. He can find a pass. He's got a very smart, intelligent footballing brain when it comes to making the right pass in the middle of the park. Not only that, he has got an engine. And Chelsea have been talking. We looked last season at N'Golo Kante saying, does he still have the same engine that he had once before. And to replace N'Golo Kante is an almost impossible task when you look at just how great he's been, how good of a player he still is. It's very, very difficult indeed. Now, for 15 million, up to 20 million pounds, Chelsea getting this deal done under the noses of other clubs. Thomas Tuchel played a massive, massive part in this. Apparently, it was Thomas Tuchel who had a meeting with the player and his representatives at Cobham and sold him the story of where he fits into this Chelsea team. The enthusiasm from Tuchel is what has made Chukwuemeka agree to join Chelsea. This is massive. Not only is that massive, but Todd Boehly getting serious business done. Yes, you may be already asking, but is that a striker? Is that centre-back cover? No, it isn't, but we also wanted a central midfielder. And I think Thomas Tuchel wants Chukwuemeka to come in and be a part of the squad this season. And I think even at 18 years old, yes, there may have been more attractive offers in terms of immediate first-team playing time from other clubs. But Chelsea are building for the future. Hutchinson, Slonina, and Chukwuemeka are three top-class players already at such a young age, but building for the future is just as important. I know there is an element of irony in that when we're looking at potentially letting Levi Colwill go to Brighton, separate to the Cucurella deal. We're going to update you guys on that in a moment. But yes, there is an element of, we signed these players for 20 mil, but we let Victor Omari go. We send Billy Gilmore home from the US tour. We let Tammy Abraham go. We have also still got to look at young talent from all of the other clubs as well. If you know anything about Aston Villa and the way that they're trying to operate right now as a club, one of their goals as a football club is to sign 8, 9-year-old players who every single year Aston Villa can have a 16-year-old into the first team signing a professional contract. That is brilliant. And Chelsea need to be looking at this despite the brilliance that we've seen with developing youth, creating from Cobham, the academy, top quality players, be that to break into the first team or to be sold. Chelsea have been magnificent at that, but we also need to keep on our radar all of these other players that we are now signing from other clubs. And Chukwuemeka last season was playing Premier League football, got a senior assist as well. So I'm excited for this player. I think he's going to be great. Whether or not we see him feature often this season remains to be seen, but he's probably going to be a part of the Chelsea first team squad. We move into the updates regarding Marc Cucurella. At the moment, it looks as though everything is ready to go, apart from there just seems to be slight discrepancies between the fee that Chelsea are paying. Brighton probably want Levi Colwill to be a part of the deal. Chelsea want to make sure that anything that happens with Colwill is separated. And hopefully, at least in my opinion, that means separated in the sense of, okay, you sell us Cucurella, you might want to wait for Man City, who are not going to match Chelsea's offer. Cucurella wants to go, he wants to go to Chelsea. I think today, this one should be finalised, and Levi Colwill going the other way. I hope personally it's a loan, but we're going to have to wait and see on that. Brighton may end up buying him. Chelsea probably will include a buyback clause if that is the case. The final story that I want to discuss today, actually, no, there's one more. Before that, it looks as though Ethan Ampadu could well be on his way out of the club. It looks as though he could be going to Italy. How do I feel about this one? We've seen Ampadu for many years. We've seen loans. We've not seen him break through. There is a top quality player in there. That with this Chukwuemeka signing, there is a big element of versatility about Ethan Ampadu, which did make me think that we might see him used in the middle. We've seen him very competent at centre-back. We've seen him in CDM. I think Ethan Ampadu could have been, or still could be, nothing's finalised with any of this yet, it just looks likely at this point, but Ethan Ampadu could be a versatile player, particularly if Chelsea stumble on any of the deals that we're looking to push through. We're looking at Fofana. We're looking at Josko Gvardiol from RB Leipzig. We're looking at trying to finish this Cucurella deal. So if we stumble on these deals the same way we did with Koundé, the same way we did with Rafinha, then I just wonder if Ethan Ampadu could have been that versatile utility, can be used all over the field player. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But the final story, and a question for you guys in the comments down below. Memphis Depay at Barcelona. Right now, he is pushing to be able to leave Barcelona as a free agent this summer. There were rumours of a €20 million fee for a player who may not have really hit it off in the Premier League at Manchester United, but since he left Manchester United, his career has flourished. He's done pretty well, pretty much everywhere he's been. An exciting player, a player that plays with flair, not afraid to take players on, can cut between the lines. Memphis Depay, if he's available on a free, I think Chelsea have to go for him. I think at the moment there's a lot of talk about, yeah, we're trying to sign wing-back cover. We're looking at Kyle Walker-Peters, also from Southampton, who's a very, very good player, by the way. 30 to 35 million. The more we see Cucurella deals going through. Chelsea want to push for Walker-Peters. We're looking at around £30 million to sign this guy from Southampton. Then you've got Wesley Fofana, who could be 75, 80 million. Where's the money going to be for an attacker? And if Timo Werner leaves, Chelsea are going to need an attacker. So if Memphis does manage to get the go-ahead to leave Barcelona this summer for free, surely Chelsea have got to go for the Dutchman. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. We're looking to finish the Cucurella deal today. We have signed Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa. The medical is going to be this morning, but the kid he's a live wire. He's going to pass the medical. I'm sure there's no doubts in my mind about that whatsoever. Everything's agreed, 6-year contract. Aston Villa happy with the price. It's all about the medical. It'll probably be announced today. We are also still looking at Fofana Vardiol. We're looking at Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton. And should we be looking at Memphis? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new around here and haven't yet done so. And I'll catch you guys later. Come on, you Blues.